Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for Fool's Gold, and this time we're back again with Brian Michael Bendis. And first things first, I do recommend that you check out the backstory in this, because I recommend that over the main story. And with Fool's Gold, this is my rating system. I rate cover, art, story. Of course, we've got total for the artist and the writer. And as you can see, it's $4.99. And $4.99 translates to $8.95 in Australian dollars, or converts to $8.95 in Australian. So let's see how Brian Michael Bendis does in help getting some of that money back. And this comes down to how I rate the cover and how much I believe it's worth, the art and how much I believe that's worth, and the story and how much I believe that is worth, instead of the price I paid. So starting off with the cover, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that happens inside the story? Surprisingly enough, yes it does. To which I gave the cover a 7 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth, are you prepared for it? $1.50 Australian. Now we'll be moving into the internal art with this story. I will not be covering the backstory in this, only the front one, or only the first story. So I'll now get things prepared to show you around the beginning, middle and the end. Now starting off with the art around the beginning. And I must admit, this art has actually been really good compared to a lot of Brian Michael Bendis' storytelling. Some art, of course, around the middle. And as you can see, we have some characters making their appearances. To which I'll be addressing later in the storytelling, or in the story side of things. And last but not least, some art towards the end. For the art, which I quite enjoyed in this story, I gave it a 7 out of 10. To which I believe it is worth $1.50 Australian dollars, not US. Now moving into the story. Whew, my goodness. Moving into the story. Now, as I was reading through this and looking through this story of Brian Michael Bendis's, yes, it was interesting to see some new characters make an appearance, or some characters make an appearance, and we get to learn about them and who they are when they show up. I thought that was really good in the story, and it also played a part in regards to the rating. So, moving into first things first, did we get any comic references? No, we didn't at all, though it would not hurt to include them. Did we get any indication of time of day when some of this was taking place? No, but it would not hurt to include it. But moving into locations, we got the Daily Planet, the Hall of Justice. When Superman was going up against Sinmar, an event occurred there to which he ends up in the Phantom Zone. And last but not least, we end up encountering a character at the Coast City truck stop. The cast of characters consisting of Lois, Sinma, Superman, Naomi, that's Mystic May, Plastic Man, Green Arrow, Aquaman, Hawkgirl, Black Canary, Hawkslayer, which is a new character, Black Adam. We also had Prince Zerep, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. We also had a Dominator in the cast, to which they now too are a part of the United Planets. We, of course, had Batman, and we also had Divine Q, if I'm saying it correctly, and last of not least, we had the character of the Flash. Well, as I was reading through this story, and also in regards to the summary of the story, Superman is still going up against the character of Sinmar, to which he devises a plan with the help of the Justice League to help pretty much capture him and put him in the Phantom Zone. I'm also surprised to see that when we were also introduced to the new characters in this, Bendis basically put them out like a bit of a profile as to show us, the reader, who they are. And I gotta be honest about this. I think this is a big improvement in his writing. Compared to previous issues of the Justice League. But it might only be this issue of the Justice League which actually turns out to be as good as it is in this one. Because as I was reading through this story, yes, there were places where there were word bubbles, but I also noticed some places where there weren't some word bubbles. So he allowed the art and the story to breathe, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Brian Michael Bendis, for that. Even though you're still in the Fool's Gold category in regards to your DC Comics, I still need to be honest about the product. But how did that take place in regards to the actual story rating? Well, I'll say one thing. The story rating is not a 1, it's not a 2, it's not a 3, it's not a 4, it's not a 5, but instead it's a 6 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth $1.25 Australian. I want to say, big improvement compared to when you were over in the Superman run and Wonder Comics run. And I want to thank you once again too for when you were on Word Balloon stream for answering my question in regards to the Jinx World characters, like having the Jinx World characters cross over with, say, DC, Marvel, or indie characters. I appreciate that. If you really want to pick up some good Brian Michael Bendis, I'm a big shiller for Brian Michael Bendis' indie stuff over his DC stuff. So if you want to check out something of his, I advise you pick up Torso. That is fantastic. Another one is Jinx. And also Goldfish, I think it is. Then there's also Cover with David Mack. Then there is also United States versus Murdering, the Murdering series with Michael Oeming. And last but not least, his Powers series. I highly recommend all of those. I enjoy a lot of his indie stuff over his DC. Give that there might be a few DC titles that slip in, depending on how good the story is. Well, until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.